All right. Hopefully everybody could read the disclaimer really fast because we're going to break right into the show today. Welcome back for another psychotic week of good price action. And man, opportunities abound. And before the show here, Matthew and I were talking a little bit about looking into RSP and kind of showing that it kind of led into the Fed speaker day and been down, and they expected that rug pull, and blam, blew it right down, full measured move down, and we're starting to see maybe the dip buying crew starting to show its teeth a little bit. But do we want to be a little cautious at this level? I would say be nimble. We'll certainly see some rebound trades, but I'm thinking, and I'm wondering, do we see a continuation back into Christmas rally? Maybe play off the day after Christmas. We'll start seeing some more buying come in, and then maybe run up to like the sell the news moment of Inauguration Day. It kind of sounds like the play to me. What do you think on that one?
Yeah, so, a couple of things. I mean, the Fed meeting obviously yesterday went from something that people thought, not that important. I mean, my dog knew that they were going to cut rates.
Yeah.
So that wasn't the news. The news was they are now more hawkish going into next year. And that recalibrated everything. Why I pointed you to RSP is because if you look at SPY, you wouldn't have seen anything,
Right.
because SPY is basically 10 stocks.
Yeah.
But if you look at RSP,
Just
which
chop.
for those who don't know is equally weighted S&P, so it's 500 stocks, you see that thing started selling off at the beginning of the month and hasn't stopped. And you'd see the same thing on the Dow,
Right.
which is a crappy index, but it's an index, nonetheless. So theoretically, you could say the market saw this coming. I don't put a lot of stock in breadth. I don't trade off breadth, but certainly, I want to be cognizant of it, and the fact that most stocks were selling off, I did increase my short exposure just based on that. What's going to happen here again, like you said, I think you want to be cautious. I am looking at buying opportunities in the names that I either want to own or want to own more of, that's set up for me on charts. And I'm looking for stuff that looks overbought, that, is not in what I think are the major themes going forward. And I'm looking to short those. I also did just get some puts on UVixy, because volatility, and maybe I'm early on that, we'll see, but volatility, remember, needs a reason to stay elevated.
Right.
So I think that move will pay off at some point. I think be cognizant of what happened in 2018. History doesn't repeat, but it does tend to rhyme. So, like I said, I would be cautiously, looking to buy stuff you want to own, but I would be balancing that off with some well-timed shorts.
That, and I always talk about selling to open options, and when implied volatility spikes like this, it's like a golden opportunity. You would see options selling for more than you would expect them to sell for in situations like this. And yesterday, even though I was kind of on a road trip with my kid to go pick up a car, I was able to sneak in a limit order as I saw the bottom of yesterday's drop, and sold some puts on TNA. Kind of put in a limit order, and then we were at a gas station while I was doing this real quick, pump the gas, get going. And then, I hear an alert go off as I'm getting on the freeway. I'm like, cool, sounds like my order filled. I don't really look at my phone when I'm driving, and God forbid if I ever, steer with my knees while I'm day trading on my phone. That doesn't work. Don't try it. But long story short, you see these opportunities pop up, and when implied volatility is high, man, you get exponential value on those options. Pretty cool. But playing caution with that is, my cost basis is still negative on my original TNA position. So I mean, combine the two, divide by two, and my cost basis is still right around 22.77. Even though I took assignment on my $48 puts, which I failed to close before. I just wasn't thinking about it yesterday. I should have bought to close those things. They were dirt cheap just before the speech, but that's okay. I'll take assignment on it and start selling some covered calls on it, well above my cost basis, and just keep generating
There you go.
premium. It'll eventually play off because I mean at a point owning that for a negative cost basis already technically after assignment on the call side. It's just a matter of swinging a chart. So take the trades as they come. When the opportunities pull a rug out and give you some liquidity to grab, it's a good opportunity. I pulled up DIA here because I know that we were talking about this measured move a while back, and it got so stinking close to that target just before it popped over on Fed Day here. But you can see the trend again. There's the weekly bars, and they just rolled over. Daily, still the same thing, just straight down. 9, 10, 12 days in a row is what it is. But once we saw this thing rejecting, hitting our extension target here on that measure move to 454.25, it was pretty much go time to start looking for shorts. And full measured move down later, here we are closing the gap. I've got a halfway target kind of on reversion of this secondary move here, about 421.25 or so on DIA. So comparatively, I mean, it works out with the whole theory of we could see a quick rebound, trend into finishing the Santa rally, but we don't know if it's going to continue to trend from after Christmas through the first year like it did in 2018. But like I said, it does tend to rhyme. I'm I'm kind of thinking that we see a good play for a rebound up into Inauguration Day where everybody thinks, the world's going to change in like that minute and sort of sell that news and then come back to Earth with some consolidation and probably a similar range. And then we can continue a melt up if things remain good. So I think there's opportunities to swing in between now and then. Just be a very nimble trader if you're going to swing trade some of this stuff. I do apologize if I'm missing the chat every now and then. I tend to get long-winded on stuff, and it happens. But we will get to you guys. We won't leave you hanging there. Let's see. UVXY puts this morning. Heck yeah, man. I'm about to jump on that boat too, I think. UVXY is always fun to play puts on, and it's always great to play bearish on it.
9.82%.
Heck yeah.
Go.
Let her rip, baby. Let's look in on that real quick. It's chartable too. XY. One of my favorite things to buy puts on now. I wouldn't say short it. Matthew wouldn't either.
No. Never short volatility.
No, that thing can wreck your life. But if you're running puts, your risk is defined. So you're in a good position there. And yeah, this looks like a perfect wave 2 short on this flag here. Just typical price action analysis here. Let's draw the line here and wedge this together here. Bink. So wave 2, first target would be right down here, about 23.90, 23.85. So yeah, I think you're doing great for puts already. And then 15-minute chart, I'll clean this up a little bit. I gotta lay off that dairy. It messes with my throat too much. Give me a line drawing tool. There we go. I'll clean this up later, but just to give you a quick idea. Run back to regression line probably about 24.85, and if we break over and swing this, hit the low, target about 23.30 on the extension, 23.80 would be a reasonable target for taking profit on your puts, unless it breaks. And then if it breaks down below that, well, we'll run back to the low or pretty close. About $20 is possible. So I might run some January 17th expiration puts into this myself, real quick. Get my phone in one hand doing that.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And then we got a lot of other opportunities out there. I mean, we've been kind of keeping up with basically revising the same things we've been trading for a while now. We haven't really had much new pop up. There was a thought on what was it? Dang it, I can't think. TLT. There was a thought on TLT, but good thing that was a avoided misstep because, boy, it didn't rotate into bonds like we thought it might. But we are seeing a new low in here, so yikes.
Let's see. I would watch. What's that? 80. Yeah, I'd watch 88. So that was the July low. We broke below it. Oh no, wait, we came right back above it.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah, I mean, I mean, this has just gotten its ass kicked so bad.
yeah.
I may look to get long somewhere around here. Use and I mean, and if you're a trader, 88 would be your stop. I
It's,
mean, right now it's 88.07.
it's in the neighborhood of finishing that measured move. Sig and I at the BB, I mean, we went long on this break of angular here, and we took advantage of the reversion trade. That's already done. We're long since out of that sucker.
Yeah, I had puts, but I got out of them way too early.
Well, I mean, if you run like a 1.5, we're right in the 1.5 move here, right where this doji's printing for the daily. If that closes the doji here, we could get a quick little scalp to the upside. But if it breaks, I'll keep on putting it. Yeah, it's a shame to see the bonds get beat up so bad, but it is what it is. Just trade the damn chart.
Well, and also, I mean, the more the bonds get beat up, the more headwinds you have on your small caps.
Yeah.
I mean, the 10-year now is above 40, 450. It's 455. That's not a good thing for small caps.
No. And come to think of it, like over at the BB, we went from trading QQQ and correlating with NQ futures, running to IWM, and IWM had been a docile chart for quite a while here in this whole decline, but now we're looking at it was volatile yesterday, obviously, and today we're getting some more volatility. But we look a little closer when we're day trading, and then we notice this nice little double bottom, this reversion scalp. That's all done already. I pulled my profit off already, but looking.
What one thing while I'm thinking of it, what I would also maybe look to short if rates stay up here, which I'm not 100% sure they will, is ARC. I mean, those stocks do not like higher rates, and
No.
that fund's had to run.
ARKK.
Yep, ARKK.
Yeah, that's been. We don't want to beat on woods, but we can if we want to. We could just say Kramer Jr. or I don't know how do we go about that. I guess they're two peas in a pod anyway, and they call each other. But
Yep.
long story short, yeah, that looks like a reversion trade all over it to about $55. Just eyeballing.
Yeah, the problem is the Tesla.
Yeah.
Let's see what she's got now in Tesla. Maybe she did something stupid.
Maybe. I mean, I had Tesla on the bull run, and I blew through my 435 target pretty well.
I mean, yeah, she's 17% Tesla.
Okay, so it's going to have
That's unfortunate.
It's going to have some weight. If it breaks 435, man, it'll go for a quick reversion to 387.
No, you could do as long Tesla, short ARC.
Right. That way you're hedged. If you win a lot. You lose a little. That makes sense.
There you go.
Right with the
asymmetry right out of the heat formula.
Yes, sir. And if you haven't subscribed to that newsletter yet, guys, do it up. Go to the Heat Strategy off of Tuttle Capital website and sign up for that. It's very useful and it's insightful and it's daily. It gives you the insight on all that stuff just to keep you abreast with the market, so to speak, and maybe some advantage overall. I'm watching Tesla again. I'm looking for if it smokes this pivot, yeah, that reversion's pretty obvious. And if it gets smacked even more, 345, okay. I think if we get that rug pull, then yeah, this will be a definite rebound trade for going in from day after Christmas to inauguration day for sure. But then what? Well, do we melt? Maybe. The Tesla bots, I think, are going to be the cat is out of the bag on that one for this current rally, and this is where we are now. Plus the Department of Government Efficiency there. That's going to be an interesting ride, nonetheless. I think Tesla's going to be fun to trade again. It already has been recently. And then look at the weekly though. I mean, these are projections that give us this whole move has already been played out right in here after that consolidation. It's going to be a bit irrational. So, I mean, if you're going to scalp Tesla, I'm going to say scalp and swing maybe overnights at most. until this volatility shakes out, and then you'll have some better long-term trades coming out of this, I'm sure. But for now, it's going to be let's play a hit and run with this thing and beat it all over the place.
And Tesla is something that's got to be on your radar screen for at least the next 4 years and maybe longer. I mean, Elon Musk yesterday killed a bill that was going to pass.
Yeah.
And everyone on the left is tweeting, Elon Musk runs the government. I don't think he runs the government, but certainly he is in a position of tremendous power.
Yep.
And, so I would not, I would be very careful shorting Tesla.
Same.
We have over 100 million in our inverse Tesla fund. My guess is that's traders. There are a lot of Tesla haters.
Right.
And, and maybe they're right. I mean, I'm not a fundamental guy, whatever, but, you've got perhaps the second most powerful man in the world right now. I don't know that I'd short his stock.
Nope. I think I'm not even sure Soros would short that, just in spite. But you can get some quick plays. Just be careful of being able to be nimble and very fluid in your moves if you're going to scalp it for now. And then wait, long term, I think we'll see some better moves on this thing for sure. But short term, it's going to get choppy and violent, and there's definitely going to be some politics in play with Tesla. So if you're a newer trader, might be best to sideline your ideas on that. If you're one of us, then yeah, you can be all over the scalps on that thing. It's just going to be, like shooting fish in a barrel to us traders. So hang in there. Also, I wanted to note on the 15-minute chart, if that starts to look like the H pattern, the old adage of H is hell for shorts, guess what? Liquidity's right here. 428.90 to 429. If they try to grab that, watch for some violent retracement, and you will get your hand smacked if you're going to try and short that. So just be aware. That H pattern is beautiful so far, so stay with it. It'll give you some fruit. Looking into, let me see, get my watch list back up here. A few follow-ups on some things, and then one thing that's actually kicking butt on the rebound today, Apple, man. We're running right back to where we started from yesterday, just about, that 250, 260. Beautiful. I have some long-term Apple swings that are still in the green very well. I didn't care about that dip yesterday, but I went and added some shorter-term spreads on that just to catch that rebound, and they're up 140% now, so doing well on that. They're way out there, and I play those edges so frequently. It's ballsy, but it works for me. It's what I do. So if you wanted to go a little closer to the money, you'd probably be better off for stability in your trades. But I'm quick on these things. I'll be probably done with these in about 10 minutes.
And just remember for longer term investors, what Powell said today doesn't change the equation for things like AI, which again I've said before and I'll say again, I think Apple is going to be a big, if not the biggest winner.
Agreed.
Quantum, all these themes. It doesn't matter whether we get 3, 4, 5, 6, 0 interest rate cuts next year. If you are looking at this longer term, if you're a trader, it matters. But again, Apple's a tough name to short also.
Yep, I don't short it. I had in the past, and I've made some pretty good little scalps, but yesterday I was a BTFD guy on Apple for sure. And I still stand at my 282.20 target for a full measured move out of what we're going up with now. And 250, 260 was my mid target. And man, it blazed right to it. There's strength in Apple, and you don't want to mess around if you're going to try and short this thing. But if you're a long player on this thing, you're going to do well. I think that's going to carry on no matter what the Fed says. You're right. I mean, I'm with you on that. AI is going to be pulling some weight in the market for the next few years to come, I'm sure. And then, we know we're looking at energy. We're looking at some nuclear themes, of course, again, and we're starting to take profit on many of our natural gas plays that we've done. Now we're looking for some more volatility in that sector, and let's break into that, shall we? We were looking at where did it go? EQT was like the most fun to trade, and today we bounced right off that liquidity zone we had mapped out, and that was just right in the base of this measured move here. Can we keep going here and maybe print a nice return to 46 bucks on this thing? Possibly, but look for the short-term reversion first, about 44.20. Just going to the 2-hour, you can kind of see that playing off. There's the makings of a double bottom here, but it's right at the mean now. So if it can't hold this 43 support level very well, it may very well test this liquidity zone one more time before we get a good swing out of it. But it's definitely a long-term play in the near future, and for now we can scalp the volatility. So just be a nimble trader if you're going to mess with this. That was the more fun.
And I love the natural gas names. I mean, it's the AI power play, which is all of the above. And I think natural gas is the soonest, but this could come down. I mean, if you look at any of the utilities, they've just gotten crushed. One I am looking at today is Duke Energy, DUK. It came down from 118 to 105, just in the space of 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is a big move for a utility, but it also had a big move up on the whole AI power theme. It just held at the 200-day. So, and I would bet if I looked at the other utilities, it probably looked pretty similar.
That's kind of set up for a rebound play for sure.
Yeah, I was noticing that.
And we're looking for possibly a 5-point move back to 110.50 here. It'll be a swing for sure, but current resistance, we're right at the let's call that a liquidity zone right there. See the top of this little spinner here. We're right in that range. Break above this, we got a pretty good shot at hitting a reversion for short term, say like 109.50, and then the full reversion of that whole trend about 110.50. Cool. We'll watch that one. And then I had Dominion up here, which is more of my locality of utilities, and that's set up for reversion. It looks like too, but this was
I mean, they all look the same.
This was
and XLU looks like that too.
And with Dominion, the reason why I even looked at it is I got an alert this morning on it where it bounced off the 200-day. So I mean, it's right on there with the tweezer bottom. So it's looking for reversion back to like 55 and some change here, 55.40. Not a massive dollar move, but the options chain is pretty docile in this thing. It gives you lots of room for forgiveness. So it's something you can work with. As far as the rest of the energy sectors going into the nuclear stuff, I think there was some hype about it, trying to maybe revitalize this sector, but I'm not buying it. I'm waiting for this to hit that support level before I go and mess with like NFE, for instance. Here is not necessarily nuclear. I'm one that's watching it for.
I mean, at SMR. I mean, I'm looking for a spot to get into SMR with some longer term stuff.
Yeah, SMR, we're looking for rebound at about 18 bucks, and we'll see if we can fly back to reversion to 20.95 and then hit back to our previous bull target up here about 23.85 again, and it'll give us some great trades. I mean, you got to keep in mind that the hype is going to be what's pushing this around. Anytime it's in the news, you're going to be news risk more than anything. Just always in the back of your mind, remember, it'll take about 10 years to build infrastructure in nuclear. It's just what it is. It takes a long time. But you can certainly scalp the hype. It's definitely worth doing. I meant to say a little bit different things about NFE here. It's market structure play, 100%. This is just basically one of the bottom fishing things that I love to do is when I see that long trend of capitalization and we get the accumulation, we get the first squeeze, second squeeze, trend starts. Resistance is right up here at 1370. It nailed that target with a 1.5 measured move. And now we're consolidated back at a half move back. If we can bounce off of like 1050, 1060 and get back into the trend, cool. We can start shooting for that 1590 candle reversion here. and maybe even a full reversion up to 22, but it's going to take some time. This is market structure doing its thing. But energy demands are going to be energy demands either way, and this guy's up and running. It doesn't have to do much infrastructure rebuilding. It just turns the valve on, burns the gas, makes electricity. So keep an eye on this thing. It's going to give us some good plays in the near future, I think. And then for now, I wouldn't necessarily short it. I'd just wait patiently for support test and give us a good reversion trade. SMR, did we talk about SMR already?
We didn't. I mean, it's a name we've been on. It's taking a little bit of a dumper here.
And we got mention on it. I think we mentioned it when we were looking at the NNE. Again, same deal. 1820 comes back to support on the measured move block. We're all over this. Looking for a short-term rebound, $20.95 if it holds that target range, and then again, it's going to be a news hype play. Buy the rumor, sell the news, and rinse repeat. It's going to be volatile and goofy. Probably, I would say through the month of January, we're going to see some volatility plays in this thing. But if it breaks these support levels, you might end up getting sold the news. So just be careful. Definitely be nimble on your plays with that. Have you touched on mining for themes yet, or we've been kind of waiting on that to settle out? Because I know
which mining, gold miners or
gold miners like GDX.
Gold miners I got out of before the Fed meeting. Thank God. I mean, I was ridiculously wrong on those. Now they look like a short. I'm not going to short them, but
yeah,
I wouldn't blame you if you did.
We blew through the 200. We've made almost a full move. We're back to the pivot on GDX here, 34.30. We knew exactly where that sucker was. That was the short-term risk. Earlier in the week, when I was talking with Howard Greenberg on this, we were looking at this range like, yeah, it'd be a good short. So we did short this going into the Fed. But now we're waiting to see if it holds support here. I'm probably ready to take profit off myself.
I love gold miners because when you're right, you're really right.
Yeah.
And when you're wrong, you just get out of the way.
Pretty much.
And I held on a little too long, but thank God I just said, hey, I'm not going to hold these into the Fed.
I didn't draw it on the chart, but I mean, there's an obvious liquidity zone right there, off that previous daily wick here. So it might give us another opportunity for a bounce play. But till then, let's let it shake out and see where it leads us. But we're right on the support line. I think I'm taking profit off my shorts today. I think that looks like a good idea to me. And then in parallel, when I saw SSR buying a bunch of property off of Newmont, and we both agreed that Newmont wasn't the great play here. SSR met my bull targets and then sort of fell through for a halfback. So we're waiting probably for a touch around 680, and we'll see if we can bounce off there for a reversion play, maybe back to about 760 or so. I still have a long-term $9 outlook on that thing, but I think it's going to accumulate here for a little while first. We're still trying to absorb, this whole thing when that mine in Turkey collapsed and killed some people. Yeah, it's not good news for a miner, but now that they're buying some new properties to get some revenue turning over, they're investing in growth. Hello. Yes, that comes out of equity, but if it turns around fast, it makes money. And, once they start digging and producing, they'll be back in the range. I think we could have a very good chance of a nice trend reversal long term on this thing around here. And if you look at the monthly chart, it's done this before. Come on. Look at those bars. That's the trade. So that's why I love SSR. It's got good volatility. It was a great short. I did the dead cat bounce trade on it. Now I'm looking for trend. Pretty much, a little bottom fishing trend watching is pretty easy trades. This is an easy chart. So watch for support. Right around 680 or so, we might see a good bounce for a rebound play. And then short term, scalp it back to about 750. And then long term, reach for that $9 goal eventually. It's got to get through the woods here, though, and I think we'll see some liquidity zone form out of this candle here, is what I'm thinking. So, between like $8.10 or so and $8.30, that'll be an LZ very soon. As for other market structure things, I mean, a lot of stuff got beat down yesterday. It just gave us opportunities. PayPal is one of them. Right to the base of our LZ, like magic. We know where those numbers are, guys. Come on. Rebound play was awesome. The halfback is done for the day, so the scalpers are all done with it. We did well this morning. I did well this morning running some of my shorter term stuff out. But now we're looking for possibly trending back through this LZ here after it actually hits a full rebound here or reversion trade. Can it still trend? Well, let's look at the weekly. Zoom way the hell out. Market structure plays are awesome, but you got to watch key areas, and this is where we're at. We're right in this LZ here. If we could break that range, we just shoot to the next one. It's about a $100 bill. Everybody's got their mind on $100. That's why they chase this rally. So now we're waiting for a little more pullback, shake some weak hands out of it, and we'll see if we hold here and continue to that trend. Long term, super long term, like if you were to wheel this, the yield's not great, but it would be slowly profitable. This is the trend you look for, the slightly bullish trend, and looking for eventual move to 120. If the economy's booming next year and everything takes off after January, we could see reversions as high as 190 on this thing. But don't hold your breath and don't chase it. Just ride a slow trend and scalp in between. It'll give you plenty of opportunity. Let me go back and make sure I'm not missing any comments here for a second. Cool, we're good. What else are we looking at? Did we make the IONQ trade? I mean, we got out in time, but I'm thinking, do we keep watching that one, or are we pretty much done with that one?
I mean, I've got a long-term position in it. I think it could be a big winner in this whole quantum computing thing. I mean, it's a ways out.
Yeah.
So it's going to be volatile. It's also something I'll trade from time to time. And as a trader, I don't know that I'd buy it here.
Yeah, I'd wait for.
I'm still up 4% on it, so I'll continue to ride it.
I mean, it did pull back like to a clean pivot line at $36 yesterday.
Right, which is where I bought it when it pulled back and broke above the 20-day.
Yeah, you were back in here. I mean, it's still a profitable position. Short term, we could scalp a little bit back, maybe give us a move. This morning was already pretty much done right to the almost to the 2-hour 50 period. Let's see what the daily looks like. Aha, the 8 periods are right there at that pivot at 36. As long as this doesn't turn into a broadening pattern, I might be with you on this long term.
Yep.
We're looking at the kind of the beginnings of a broadening pattern, but sometimes these will turn into diamond patterns and just be long-term continuation. Or if you see it start to condense in this range, it'll eventually trend out. That's what you want to see. So definitely a decent long-term play, even still. Short-term, we can scalp the volatility a little bit. Maybe get the BTFD crew interested if it taps at 36 again. I'm sure we'll see them.
Okay.
And then there's IBM. Glorious.
Yeah, IBM is, I also believe, one of the big winners when it comes to quantum.
Yeah.
So I added to my position today. I mean, a nice undercut and rally at the 50-day. Yeah, again, longer term position, but if IBM executes on this, I mean, they could be the NVIDIA of quantum computing.
Agreed. They've been a name that's kind of forgotten by retail, but we remember.
Because it's been boring.
Yep.
And I think it's been boring for like as long as I've been investing. But this whole quantum thing makes it interesting to me now.
Oh, for sure.
And I wish it made it interesting to me in July, but it didn't.
It's rough and dirty, but this looks a lot like the cup and handle to me, and this is where the handle would be.
Yeah.
And it's dirty unless you compress the chart, but
could also be a Gil Morales punch bowl of death, but hopefully it's more like a cup and handle.
But Interestingly, though, it did the gap fill yesterday and hit the number and bounced right off the Fed speak here. Let me move this pivot up here. I'll have to borrow one of these. Wink. Right there. Base of the gap pretty much met. And then we got the reversion play for the open today. I would say if this descending channel becomes the handle, and this is that little trick I always talk about with wedges and channels, is you take the second impulse in that thing and you kind of scout what the range would be on that move. You use it like a trap detector. So if we break out angular here, if it can break above this, we get a trend. If it rejects here, short it and wait for the pivot hit. So this could be a good play, short-term volatility. And then, yeah, once the whole AI thing starts to really take shape going into next year, I think we got a good shot at if we get a cup and handle breakout, we end up with a full measured move where we get this right into above that block. And then long term, our target becomes right up here, 250, 350. And then the half move is right above the previous high at about 240, 240. It is long and boring, but the options chain is kind and forgiving on this thing if, for day traders and swing traders. So I might get involved in that one. Might even be interested in putting a YOLO spread together, say February expiration way out here. It's probably going to be cheap as hell. Might be another PayPal for me. Sweet. Another dog in the fight, of course, is Google. And it's been playing nice with liquidity zones. All of our dope pretty much worked out beautifully on this thing. Printing a spinner in a weekly here would be awesome because then we got a pretty much 50-50 shot of following through to our bull target or pulling back to a reversion. Kind of same. I think day after Christmas is going to give us a pretty good signal here at that point. And looking at the daily, I mean, we're right in the 8 period with a doji here too. So if we can break this range and get above 195, we got a great shot at running a big ass measured move to the upside here. I'm going to mark the halfway mark too, though, just to be cautious. About 210 would be a good area to look for taking some risk off if you're going to swing this. But look for this pattern or this consolidation here to break, and we should see a pretty much 50-50 shot. Either we get a nice long or a nice short. Either way, I think by about the end of Christmas, we should see something shape up there. Keep this on your radar. Don't forget. Let's see here. How about we got time for a couple more. We're actually breezing through this stuff.
What about GE Vernova?
What's the ticker on that one?
GEV.
GEV. Oh, we haven't talked about this thing in a while, have we?
Yeah, I've been looking for a spot and undercut and rally on the 50-day. So I got into this morning.
Nice work. This is I see this on day trading charts all the time. It's like a rounding top, and people love to try to short these things, and then they get burned because it holds the range bar. And in this case, we got one here. It tapped base, wicked through to the next bar, and then bounced right off that 50-day at the same time. And then the secondary bar is this guy. So short-term target 346.75 on a breakout here if it breaks the mean. 345. And if we get a full M out of that whole parabolic trend, damn, Gina. Let me range this real quick here. I didn't mean to drag the whole chart over. I'm going to start borrowing our previous measured move blocks because I'm lazy.
All right, I'm up a little over 1%. Let's go.
Heck yeah. All right, short term.
Should have bought it in August.
345. Yeah, I know, me too. 375.40 is a half measure move up. And then if we start going nuts, yeah, 417. Let's be conservative and mark 415-ish. Yeah, this thing's got some energy for sure. I like this setup because everybody's going to try and short that and they're going to get ripped. That's going to be a liquidity grab if they get long with this. So yeah, key resistance here, 345. That's the top of our secondary range bar here. And if it breaks that with some force, look for short-term measured move up to 375.40, long-term measured move all the way up to 415. This thing's got some serious moves ready to go. Worst case scenario, if it rejects, just scalp the short-term range between 330 and 345. I like this one. We'll have to start talking about this one more. I think this is going to be a major player in our themes. One I didn't like, but I'd like to short it, and I should have stayed short on it. I've already taken good profit on it. AMD, man. That bear target is still in play. We broke the half measure move this morning. This thing is destined to fill that move. Let's look for all the way down to like 104.50. Holy smokes. Yee! Continuation would be great. And this will be where the BTFD crew will be waiting. I'm waiting. Moving into that, it's basically, you got your primary here as choppy as it was. Secondary is way up here. This would be the halfback for that whole trend, but it's a low range of halfback. So let's man, I should have stayed short on this thing. I did get the scalp on this thing, and I've took it to yesterday. Closed it. I should have stayed open on it. Darn it. But yeah, this measured move looks like it's going to for sure follow through if it breaks this. Watch for the daily candle to close below the 121.60. I think we've still got some room to run down on this thing. As much as I hate shorting AMD because I love the company, never get married to the company, guys. Just trade the chart.
Nope.
No wedding rings for stock traders in that respect.
No, the market is obviously telling you NVIDIA is winning this war.
Yep. And that's the other thing I was looking at. NVIDIA was key areas of support are all over the damn place on this thing, so you got to be careful. But went right to that 127.90 pivot beautifully. Didn't quite tap that liquidity zone I was expecting the extension to get to. And then today we're looking for rebounds back up to 136.05 or so is probable. One of my dogs was scratching and shaking the whole house. Looking back to that previous high yesterday, just before the sell-off, we're already at the halfway point. So if it continues to run up to 136, we got a good shot at hitting the reversion trade on this whole trend. But if it rejects up here, I'm thinking the 127.90 pivot is going to be tapped again, and we'll see what happens. I was really hoping for it to hit the 117 target back here, this old pivot, which is about half of our range in this whole move, but might not get that. I think there's too many dip buyers taking advantage of NVIDIA here to let that go. And dirty chart-wise, I mean, as choppy as this whole thing was, it's still just a giant cup and handle. There's your handle. If it holds here and breaks this trend, yeah, you've got a good shot at upside. And, I'll still stand by that. Let's hit the 197.80 target up here, but we haven't even touched the halfway target yet, so stay tuned. NVIDIA is going to give you some good plays. All right, we got time for a couple more. It's only 12:13.
One other one I bought today is Kratos, KTOS.
Yes, that's an interesting
one. It's a
one.
drone play that I've been looking to get into, and it had an undercut rally at the 50-day.
Nice chart. Volatile.
It is volatile, but I mean, I think this is, I think in a lot of ways this is a Trump play. Drones are obviously in the news.
Oh yeah. Got people in New Jersey shooting at them. They're definitely newsworthy.
I mean, I'm not far from New Jersey. I'm pretty sure I saw him in the night sky a couple nights ago.
And I mean, people freak out about that stuff. Oh, it's Chinese. Let's shoot it down. Don't do that. Come on, man. It's not worth it. Stretch in jail. Those bullets come down with force. Every one of those videos I saw, I mean, I don't know many people are shooters. I used to, target shoot back in the day for long range stuff, and trajectory is trajectory. Anything below 65 degrees angle comes down with lethal force and then some with rifle caliber stuff. Don't do it, man. Oh, Those bullets came down somewhere, and I hope no one got hurt. I really do. Yeah, be safe out there. I don't want to get into politics on that whole thing, but yeah, don't shoot those things. Come on, guys. Ugh, someone's gonna get in trouble for that. But anyway, yeah, this looks like a great chart. Let's see here. Go to the 2 hour. Killer reversion trade looks good. Undercut and rally takes you to first bull target 27.36 for reversion play, and that's the low end of this whole range. Short term, the extension's right there off that wick. Let's see, about 27.80. Is that what you had?
Yeah, I mean, I'd certainly look for it to make new highs. So, in the 28s.
I like it. And if it breaks that, we got a pretty good shot of reverting back to the 30s. As choppy and volatile as it is, that's a good looking chart. I like it.
Yeah.
Good times. And then, let me see here. I had one more on my list I was going to pull off wherever the hell it went. Let's see. We talked about EQT already, didn't we? Yeah. Let's see. PayPal, NQ. No, not NQ. SQ. When we were talking about getting long on this thing, it was freaking glorious, right to our target and then some. Now we're still looking at market structure, and I think this one's going to end up with a little more strength than PayPal, if I'm being honest with myself. This 109.90 area here is a very valid target if the trend continues here. So comparative to PayPal here, we have, basic market structure here. The LZ has been breached on this one, whereas on PayPal it wasn't. So we're looking for consolidation right around my previous target, and if this thing continues to rip, man, you're going to see some hellacious bull trends out of this thing into the new year here. So I think right now this is my highest focus chart is SQ for this move into next year. And if we start seeing it hold that support and start to trend out of this, yeah, I'm going to start getting long term on this thing. My short term plays, I mean, I was killing it. I had some killer spreads on this thing that outperformed my PayPal spreads by tenfold. Now it's like come back to reality time, wait patiently. I think I might even go so far as to run some. I like synthetics because they save a lot of capital. So I might go for like the old PMCCs, running for some long leaps to sell some short-term liquidity on, or short-term premium on, and then as long as I'm in my cost basis realm, I'll be cool with that. Also, I might be running some spreads, say like February or March expiration, right around that 110, 115, or even 115, 120 level for some short-term plays. As long as this plays out and holds support in this range, I think we've got a pretty good shot at running a good long on this thing. Worst case scenario, this yellow pivot that I have here, this 87.30, I'm going to turn that red now, because if I fail and this doesn't work out, that's going to be the failure point. And it tapped exactly to that yesterday in the sell-off, and then bounced off of it this morning in the rebound. And looking at the 5-minute chart, this is starting to shape up like an IHS. So if we get this confirmation here where we hold this support area and we start to trend back out for the day back into this liquidity zone, let it follow through. I mean, that LZ's got plenty of range to give you some short-term swings. So keep your eyes on SQ. This thing's got plenty of potential to make some great trades for day traders and swing traders alike. Going through with the what were the other? I know the regional banks. You've got SKRE kicking ass. We were looking at some other things, getting into who takes over liquidity if things like in the regional bank realm start to fall apart even more. There's got to be something we can pick off of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just think that regional banks are, eventually, and maybe that eventually is now, going to be a great short. You keep seeing news out there that's pro that. I went short probably a week or so ago. I'm not touching it. I like it.
It's looking like your short idea is still in a pretty good theme area. And then I call them transactors, but really it's just the fintech stuff is always in play with this. So I mean, like everything that tunes on the regional banks, you look at fintech. Even SoFi was not a bad play in this year, and it took a hit yesterday, but dude, it's right in the realm of we could form another big ass bull flag here and keep on trucking. We're above the reversion trade by far, and if we settle in this range around $15 and keep on trucking, this could actually start to take off. So definitely take heed from the 2 hour chart and know where your short-term zones are. Of course, we got obvious liquidity right up here, and obvious liquidity right down here where yesterday it tapped that low. So we get some range trades in this bad boy. We can get some scalps in the short term, and then we'll start setting up some more block moves in this thing, I think, as soon as this consolidation's done. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on this going into January, and if we can kind of hold and scalp some short-term stuff in between. It's got great trades all over it, and it's cheap enough to just beat the crap out of this thing with options. So I love scalping this thing. There was one more in the same space, and I can't remember the dang ticker. Not SoFi. One of the lenders, Kathy was into it for a while. Upstart.
Oh yeah. I mean, I went short a firm today, but buy now, pay later. But what's Upstart?
Ups,
Ooh,
Upstart looks like it's continuing to
I
be a
should
good
have
short,
started Upstart. Oh man.
right? Right down to like $66 is where my target is on this thing, and that
Oh, that's a better short than a firm. Man.
is also a critical pivot. So like I've been keeping an eye on this thing. I need to put it in my list now. I put it in my personal portfolio and I forgot to put it on the watch list, but damn it. Yeah, that make sure it stays there because we're gonna be talking about this next week, I'm sure. But liquidity was right up here. It rejected cleanly, couple wicks, and yesterday would have been just a glorious short entry on this thing. Running to the red line here though, I think it can go lower. Look at the triple top on this thing.
Yeah, I just did real small size,
And
just
then
for fun.
this gap fill here, if it breaks the red line, baby, 55.60, easy $10 block move. Hell yes, spreads will be right there, watching that gap like a hawk. But just be aware that this thing is still a market structure play. Long term, if it holds here, we'll get our quick short scalps out of this thing, I'm sure. There's a nice reversion trade underway here. But if we find support and starts to form its trend here and get back into market structure reversion, don't get caught shorting that if it does that. So just because Kathy Woods chased this and then failed miserably and took a hell of a loss on this thing, as far as I remember, I'll have to fact check that, but she got beat to hell on this thing, I know. Now we're looking at, hey, us long-term bottom fishers, we love this structure, and if it walks around here and we get to have an opportunity to go long on this thing, yeah, this thing could really rip bases off in the sector that it's in. So, yeah, I'm definitely liking trading this thing, and yeah, beautiful short. Now we're just waiting for the red line, baby. So, yeah, I think you'll enjoy trading this one with me, Matthew, for sure. Whew.
Yep, you'll see.
And there was another one in the, I guess not necessarily fintech. What was that one where you can invest in short-term loans? I haven't traded that ticker in forever.
Best in short-term loans.
So like it was a fund for lending, and I can't remember, like not neighborhood lender. Dang it, yeah, I'm eluded. It was one I traded a long, long time ago. Similar to Upstart, but it was more private equity in it, and then it became public. Lending Tree. Now I just got to figure out the ticker.
I think it's Tree.
There it is.
Yeah.
And again, yes,
That would have been a short at 47
yes.
and at 57.
And then let me reset my charts so it's a little easier to read here. So looking at the mother of all reversions, this thing could still go short down to like $30. So it's got lots of play in it. It's been long, long time since I've traded this thing. I think I don't have any dope for it except from my other account that I was trading this in. But market structure wise, this is reversion all over it. But eventually, it might become a decent thing. And again, that's why we kind of look at regional banks versus fintech. I mean, where's everybody going to lean? No one even. I mean, no one but like older people like to go to the banks anymore. Everybody does everything online. So I think fintech is going to really steal a lot more of that market space in the long term. But in short term, it's volatile and scalpable. And whenever you get rate information out from the Fed, these things boogie. So yeah, keep an eye on some of these for some decent shorts and eventually some rebound plays for some reversion trades. And this one's pretty volatile for what it is. I mean, it moves quite a bit. And then there's one more out there I'm forgetting, and it'll come to me later, and I'll probably talk about it later in another broadcast. But another one that I have traded in the same sector that was just beautiful, and this is kind of the stuff I love to look at and love to trade. Well, I think that's pretty much all we got to talk about, unless there's anything else that's kind of popping up on the radar. I don't see anything.
No, nothing else. I mean, now the market looks like it wants to sell off again. So this will be interesting. But you've got, I mean, all the crypto is selling off right now.
Got one that's popping up on my radar. Let me see if it's worth looking at. Sometimes these are just quick pops on like just zero liquidity charts. I don't even know what this is. VTEX.
VTEX.
What the hell is that?
I don't know this one.
It popped up on my short scalp notice. I think it was already done with though. Oh, I see. It's looking at a 52-week low. Okay. So if it breaks 575, we got a good short down to let's see, measure move block would take us down to like $5. That just popped up on one of my scanners. I'm not even really sure what the hell to do with that one. I think that's about it, man. I don't think there's really much to talk about anymore, other than just wait and see. We've got a few more weeks till the real stuff starts to pop off, and I think next year's going to be some killer trading. But in the meantime, we got some great shorts out of this and some great fun, and we'll have some better ideas as we go along. But we've been killing it, man. I gotta say, our accuracy and putting our heads together on this stuff and bouncing ideas off each other, we thrive, and we love being able to help others thrive with that. So if you're still watching, please help us spread the word. Get this out to some of your friends who are starting to get into trading, and we will be glad to help you guys with any analysis. You ever send us a ticker, we're always happy to jump on it and take a look. So if you got something you want us to talk about, feel free. We are a public forum for you, and if you want to get out there and give us some feedback in the comments, or give us a ticker to look at, or anything you want to ask, we love answering questions. We love helping, so that's why we're here. All right, thanks again. We'll see you guys next week. Have a wonderful weekend. Remember, next week we're going to have a little bit of a short week. We got Christmas coming up, and I'll be here Tuesday if you can. Cool.
Yeah, I'm still not sure what my schedule is for next week, but I'll let you know.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, we'll keep into it.
I'm working. I just don't know where I'm working from.
Yeah, I hear you. You get to travel a little bit with what you do, so yeah, sometimes you gotta jump on a train or a plane. For me, I chill at my desk. I'm here all week, but if you can't make it next week, I'll be certainly understanding. And again, we love being able to get together and do this anyway. So if if both of us are out, we'll try to give you notice. I know there's been a couple of times where I've been like, yeah, I can't do it today, but
Yep.
for the most part, we're pretty regular twice a week, and we do what we can. But it's hard to be like knowing exactly what our schedule is going to be because it can change on the drop of a hat. Family trips or business trips, they all pop up now and then, and it's Christmas next week. So if worst case scenario, if I don't show up on Tuesday, I'll at least put a notice out saying, hey man, we're gonna hiatus this until after Christmas and go into the following week. But for now, we're signing off. We'll see you guys next week and have a great weekend.